The reason why we do the work we do, you'll hear some remarks from people in the room, both from the Environmental Protection Agency and Hunters Point family and young community developers. But the real reason why I get up every morning and come to what I don't even really consider work is for these people that you'll see in a moment receiving their certifications. They came in not really understanding or even knowing what the job readiness training program is all about, but they came in with the I can spirit. Well, we've sat the very first day of class and reminded one another that we will absolutely never give up, and that whatever we started out to do, we are absolutely going to finish and do.
I had a lot of fond moments and memories over the 12 weeks, but it didn't really hit me until this past week of, I would probably say, the greatest moment that I got a chance to witness. It was a time to where we introduced the cap and gowns to them. And the excitement that was on their face and just them conjugating with each other and sharing that same experience all at once, it was not only refreshing, but I was proud. And what it really signifies more than anything is accomplishment, that you was committed to starting something and you finished it and you actually accomplished it. That's what that cap and gown really means. And I thought about how we sometimes identify with the notion of being included in what society and what the media and what some academic scholars call as the poor people. And I used to identify as that population. And then being around these gentlemen and these ladies, it helped change my thought and how I identify myself and the community that I come from as it relates to being called poor people. I like to kind of change that and say that we rich people that's in poor situation and poor circumstances. You know what I mean? So know that you rich and don't ever let nobody take your value and what you worth away from you.
I'm just going to talk briefly about the significance of 10. When the Olympics, when they have the diving competition, or when they have the competition where they do gymnastics, the highest score is what? 10. Highest score is 10. When you see a young man or a young lady you like, and you're having a conversation with your friends, and you say, is that a what? That's a dime. That's a 10, right? So 10 is very significant. And this is our 10th cycle of our EPA JRT graduation. So you should be excited about that and excited to celebrate that and give yourselves a hand for being number 10.
As many of you know, the Hunters Point shipyards and Bayview Hunters Point in general is one of the most polluted places in the United States. You had the radioactivity from the ships that brought the planes that dropped the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. They came down there and they sandblasted them, and all that's there. We have all that energy. We have the sewer. We had the power plants. We have all the wrecking yards, the dumps, 127 brownfield sites. And it's scary, right? The reality of it, we've all been, that's why we have the highest rates of asthma in the country, miscarriages, cancer. This is real. And it's really important right now because when you look around and you look at what's happening on the planet, we hear about all these crazy hurricanes we've had that's flooded folks out. And it's like, wow, this is serious. It was Harvey, then it was Irma, it was Jose. It just kept on coming. All the West Coast has been on fire for the whole year. Oh, shit. It's really going down. You got Trump saying we don't need the environment, maybe just a little bit, but we got to take away all regulations. Regulations that say they can just pour all the poison into the planet. And here you guys are. EPA funded you to be the next generation to go out and change this, to be warriors for this planet. And maybe you think, well, I didn't come for all this. I came to get a job, or, you know, I want to make sure I get to the next level. And that makes sense, of course. But also understand what you come from. Understand the intention. The EPA is here to protect this planet. They fund you all to train you to learn how to protect and heal this planet. This program that we have with Hunters Point Family and YCD wasn't just so we can have another contract and put some more people to work. It was intentional. We knew what we were doing. We understand where we live. We understand the impact that it's had on people and the health. And it's important you understand it.
You know, EPA has been a funding partner for Hunters Point Family and YCD since 2012 consecutively, and it's a highly competitive process. There are only, maybe 15 organizations every year that are selected for funding. And so that really shows you that you're really working with a high caliber organization that is committed to the excellence in the work that they do. They're committed to the excellent partnerships they've developed all throughout San Francisco. They're committed to the training that they've delivered for you, and also really committed to helping you secure those long-term professional jobs that you're looking for. So the part that we fund is for the environmental management and skills training. So all you graduates, you're going to walk out here today with these really highly valuable certificates. So these certificates can lead you to a number of different professions. It can be in construction, it can be in redevelopment. Other graduates have gone on to work in solar panel installation, and then also most recently there have been students who've gone to work for the fire recovery in the North Bay. One thing to know is that previous classes, the job placement rate has been 85%. So I want to challenge you guys that 100% of you find those jobs that you want and that you move forward with that.
If I could do it, you could do it. First generation from Mexico. I didn't finish college, and I have a national company that we've trained large organizations. I have learning centers in Florida, Arizona, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, you name it. One thing that I live by is you got to remember this, that fear is a liar. Okay? When you start doubting yourself, you are what you tell yourself. And trust me, I've told myself some pretty hard things sometimes, right? Growing a business, it's been tough, real tough. But again, just don't forget the gift that you have. For you to be chosen, there's a reason. I believe that nothing happens by chance. I believe that I'm not here by accident. I truly believe that. Okay? You have to make a difference. You're chosen. And if you sway off the path, that's okay. Get right back on it. You know what? Be you. Don't be ashamed of your past. Don't. I go into meetings, I'm saying, hey, I'm from Linwood. Don't be fooled by all this. I got this. I'm smart. I'm street smart. And a lot of people that aren't street smart don't know how to get through life. So that's a strength. And remember that. Remember that.
I just heard a statistic last night that in the world of folks who are doing this, for every 4 people who are retiring this year, there's only one young person, who's going into the field. We have a tremendous need for the kind of work that you're about to do, because it's probably my generation and the generation above me that polluted the place. It's going to be you who helps to clean it up, who makes sure that we have a planet that is worth living in. And so I just want to say thank you on behalf of our California State Legislature. I look forward to the jobs you're going to fill. I look forward to your leadership. I look forward to all the things you're doing.
So I have 2 certificates from the state senator, who unfortunately is out of town today. One for young community developers, YCD, and the other for Hunters Point family. Some notes from the Senator. On behalf of the California State Senate, I hereby award the certificate of recognition in honor of, and your name will be on each of these. Your commitment to protecting our environment will greatly benefit San Francisco and the people of California. You do us proud. Thank you very much.
I am currently enrolled in EPA JRT Environmental Protection Agency Job Readiness Training Program. My life has been stricken with adversity and I am ready for change. I am on this journey to success for the betterment of myself, systematically applying myself with confidence so that I can be a good role model to my children and an inspiration to those who are dealing with hardships or adversity. I realize that achieving my goals will be challenging, but I will not be subject to defeat. And from my instructor, Mr. Dr. Smith, I can, I will, and I must. And Dr. Smith, I really want to thank you. You're a role model, man. My father wasn't around, and you just been there, man. Thank you, Asani. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for believing in us, family, friends, and I appreciate it with all my heart, man.
My SMART goal was to complete the EPA JRT class and to complete it with 5 or more chips. I got 11, so I'm good. This goal is important to me because 4 years ago, I had a stroke and it put my life on hold. And as I had to relearn everything that like small stuff that we all take for granted, walking, talking, eating, breathing on my own, it was a very tough battle. For the past 4 years, I struggled, really hard with depression and anxiety. I had to figure out, what's my next step? Am I just going to sit here and let what I've been through determine where I'm going to go, or am I going to take control of my life? And this class helped me to do that. I wanted to accomplish this goal so I can help my little sister through college, so I'll be able to take care of my daughter over there that's watching, make sure she have a better life and she can go to college. Doc, thank you very much. I don't know if I would have been able to do it with another instructor. I really appreciate everyone for giving me this opportunity and helping me get through this.
Unfortunately, in December of 2013, I had 5 grand mal seizures, and for the first time in my life, I was terrified. I lost my memory, my complete multitasking skills. I lost my driver's license. Who the heck was going to hire me now? And oh my gosh, what if something was to happen to my husband? I don't want to end up homeless on the streets. And I knew exactly what must be done. First, I needed to work on building back my brain. And as I did have a significant amount of brain damage. Then I needed to find a good paying job with a pension so I would never feel helpless and scared again. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but it wasn't impossible. People do it every day. In fact, you hear stories all the time of people who were in horrific situations and the hurdles they've overcome. They are the true ones to be admired as they give so much hope to the rest of us. If they can do it, so can I.
Once I was released, the reality of fatherhood slapped me in the face. So I ran the neighborhood and began to hug the block, as we would say, only to catch another possession of sales case. Guess where that landed me? The big house, San Quentin State Prison. This time, my stay is for 3 years. When getting out on parole, with no resources and limited funds, I hit a lot of dead ends. And the street money began to pick up. I lost sight of my vision and my family. While doing so, they got tired of going through this revolving door with me. Now that I have gotten older and wiser with time, I sit back and think about the revolving door and how there's still one level I didn't reach, and that being death. And that's what has led me here today. I heard about this program from my 3 cousins who completed this program and are now earning $57 an hour. Since joining this class, it's gotten me the passion to learn and motivation to finally complete something. So when my instructor has us scream out, "I can, I will, and I must," helps me to believe in myself again. I want whoever listening and reading this to know that this program has given me back what was lost, that being myself. I said all this to say this: if I can change, so can you. Just give yourself and this program a chance. Thank you.
Several years ago, a gentleman that I worked with, he would periodically bring his son into the office. And little Timmy came to me one day and he called me Aunt Karen. He said, "Aunt Karen, where are your hands?" And it's interesting that children will ask me where they are as if I lost them somewhere. And I said, "Oh, I have this." I said, "God has them." He said, "Oh." He said, "Well, tell me what you can do." I can write, I can type, I can use a computer, I can drive, I can use the cell phone, I can do a lot of things. I can do everything. He said, "Wow. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give God my hands." I said, "No, you can't do that." And he said, "Why not? Didn't you just tell me you can do everything?" Over the years, children are really funny to me. But adults are especially interesting to me because they don't ask me where. They ask me what happened, and I generally explain to them what happened to my hands. They had to be amputated at the age of 3 when my hands were stuck in a Ringer-type washing machine. And then they will come back with the next question. They say, "How do you do what you do? How can you show up with a smile and always so positive, regardless of what you're going through in life?" So during these times, people always tell me, "Oh, I feel so sorry for you." Because what they're telling me, the odds are stacked against you. There's no way in looking at you that we can ascertain that you've accomplished anything. And I always tell people, you don't have to feel sorry for me because I got it going on. I really have it going on. I have to even tell myself, don't be so proud of yourself, you know. Because I try to encourage people that I know if I can go do it, you ought to be able to do it. And so when I looked at that, they asked me, "So how do you do it?" I said, "I learned that I have to have an unshakable sense of determination." Unshakable sense of determination. I was not going to be a person that gave in. One of my favorite words is that of perseverance, striving onwards in times of hardships, no matter what the obstacles may be. Striving onward in terms of hardships, regardless of your limitations. Striving onward in times of hardships, regardless of your background, your past experience, or where you came from. We all have these experiences that we come from in terms of how we grew up. And everyone's experience is a little different. But regardless of that, what we all have in common is we have the ability to rise above those experiences. The question becomes to you, are you willing to use the information that you've gained, graduates, to let that be your springboard forward and forever throughout your life's journey? Are you willing to decide that I'm going to be motivated, I'm going to be determined, and I am going to be courageous? Because you have to then indicate, how do I keep it going? Because you have some experiences, negative experience you're going to face a year from now. It could be tomorrow, or it could be 10 years from now. But when those experiences face you, what are you going to do? What I've told everyone is I always have to tap into the power and the strength that resides in me. Tap into the power and the strength that resides within you.
We've aligned 15 of you to go for interviews for CPM services for work on Monday. So not only are you going for an interview, you're going to fill out your hire paperwork. So make no mistake, be professional, be on time, and go get the job, okay? and I look forward to working with each of you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
What I have here are your records of certificates. This card alone validates that you, each and every single one of you all that will be coming up here, are now officially your new titles, not street pharmacists or anything like that. It is environmental technologists. Give them a hand. Patrick Barnett. Oscar Cabrera, affectionately known by us as Papi. Jesse Garcia. Mr. Paul Guillory. Come on up. Shabria Hill, please come on up. Monique Coleman. Jarvis Lewis. Mr. Carl Lincoln. Come on up, Mr. Tyrese Lyons. Mr. Jonathan Moore. Come on up here, Jonathan. Helen Ortiz. Justin Bakeman. Come on up here. Mr. Calvin Pollard, CP. Mr. Dante Watts. Marcel Wissenton. Raymond Dom Williams. Last but definitely not least, Mr. Kalen Vincent. Here's your new beginning from this point on. Let's forget the past. And you know when the past was? Before you walked in here today. Before you walked into 5266 and began your training 12 weeks ago. That was the past. This is the new. Okay? You're amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Walk up out of here knowing you're amazing. That's right. That's right.